Welcome to your guide about what you need to know in Prophecy. We're going to go from the basic mechanics to the more in-depth style of how to play the game. We're going to go over where the secret chests are, the routes that you need to take, and just general guide to Prophecy. There you go, and now you're in the entrance of Prophecy. So here you're going to be after some light motes, which are on the screen, as well as some dark motes, which are also on the screen. Now, in order to spawn the light motes, you need to ensure that you're in the light. You can tell you're in the light because you'll have a little light effect around your screen. This is where the ground will also appear light. So this is what you want to aim for, but make sure the edge to your screen remains light. Then for the dark motes, you're going to do the same. However, there's going to be a dark effect. Once you pick up 5 motes, you can grab a large mote, you can go to this little circle thing on the screen, and you can deposit there by pressing your attack button. In order to get 5 motes, you need to kill a knight, which will spawn 3 motes of the type that you're stood in. Once you pick them up, you need to make sure you pick up the same corresponding color. If you pick up the other color, you'll lose all of them. So you need to make sure that you pick them up. Once you have repeated this process twice, you have completed the entrance. If you then follow the path that's shown on the screen during this, you'll find yourself going towards the first boss battle. Within this boss battle is going to be the same mechanic with the motes. However, this big boss in the middle is going to spawn, and he's going to have a shield. The shield will do a massive knockback damage, so you need to be aware of this. While this is going on, be careful you don't fall off the map while spawning these motes. You're going to keep repeating this until you get into a DPS once all 4 have been deposited. Once all 4 have been deposited, you'll then enter DPS, and you need to ensure that all adds are killed. This will help make sure you don't die during DPS. It can maximize damage. You then want to just full spam the boss and then kill him. There is no damage phase to this, it's just a timer. You need to kill him within a certain time, or you'll go into a second damage phase, and vice versa. Once you have completed, you'll step into this purple aura here, and once everyone in your fire team is stood there, you'll go to the next encounter. Once you've completed that encounter, you're now going to be entering the Wasteland. Once you're in the Wasteland, you're going to be riding around on your Sparrow, and you're going to be looking for some taken blights. Once you find these taken blights, you want to destroy the taken blights. There is no time requirement or anything of that kind. You'll also find minotaurs throughout riding towards looking for these taken blights. You can ignore these large minotaurs. They provide no benefit or debuff. They don't really do much. You can kind of just ignore them. Just be mindful. Now, when you get to these taken blights, you just want to destroy them. Kill any enemies, anything like that, does not matter. You just destroy the taken blights by entering this little orb, this little area, and destroy them. Shoot them, destroy them. Once you've destroyed 3 blights in each area, you'll then have a white blight in that area that spawns. Jump into that, and then what will happen is it will go towards the next blights. You then go that way and follow that. You repeat this 3 times. Once you have done that, it will say in the bottom left a little message saying the way is open. Once this happens, you will then go look for the secret chest, which will be on screen in a few minutes for you as well. Now you've made it to the secret chest. Now if you notice here, it's going to be golden sand. This is going to identify the area of the secret chest. There's a little opening here. You're just going to jump through here, follow the path shown on the screen, and then there's a chest. Grab the chest. Once you've got that, you can make your way back out. Once you've made your way out of the secret chest area, you can start to make your way towards one of the cubes. Now, one of the cubes will have a little white blight in front of it. Once you have completed all 3 dark blights, this is going to be another white blight once again. Once you have identified which cube to go through, you want to go through the little door opening. Make your way through to the end, and once you get to the end, just stop a bit before, and then we can go to the next encounter for you. And there you go. Now you're into the next encounter. So here, you're going to see a little white blight in the middle. Once you grab this blight, you'll start the encounter. So you want to hold off on doing that for the time being. Make sure you rally. You want to have range damage. There's going to be hobgoblins that spawn around the map, and just general knights that will also be spawning. So you want to have some ad clip, some range to deal with these ads, and just general ad clip. Now, into the actual encounter. This white blight, once you start the encounter, is going to go to one of these 4 circles around the arena, as you can see here. Then it's going to find a select one, and once you find which area the blight has gone to, you're going to look below that blight, and it's going to be either light or dark. Then, once you have identified which one this is, you want to obtain that corresponding shade, the same way as you have been throughout the entire dungeon. And once you've done that, get 5 motes, deposit, everyone go to the middle. There'll be a circle in the middle, go to there, and you'll go to the next arena. Every time you do this correct, you will rotate the correct way. You're going to keep repeating this over and over, and that is kind of it. Once you get to the end of the encounter, you'll see these 2 mini bosses that spawn. You kill them. However, during this encounter, you might randomly find a strange one where the blight is actually in the middle, just above the little cube in the middle. If this happens, you can deposit to any shade of your corresponding choice. Once you've completed that encounter, you're then going to see this little opening here. You're going to jump through this opening, go towards the end, and you're going to meet yourself back out at the Wasteland. If you then continue following this path shown on the screen, it should be a bit sped up for you there, you'll then go to the other cube, and then you're going to follow the path, and you'll then meet yourself at the next encounter, Rainbow Road. We'll then go into that for you as well. And there you go, now you've made it to Rainbow Road. There's not much to talk about here, so the whole objective here is to follow the path and make it towards the end. There's going to be a secret chest that's going to be shown on the screen, so keep your eyes open for that. If you follow the path shown within the screen, there's no way to really go wrong here. And then here you go, now you're at the last pyramid on the Rainbow Road. Here is where the secret chest is. If you follow the screen here, you'll see in this bottom right corner, you actually have a little hole to jump in. If you jump in there and follow the path shown on the screen, you'll also see the secret chest. Once you've obtained the secret chest, you can make your way back on yourself, come up to the top, continuing following the path, and then you can enter into the next encounter. And then once you've made it up top here, you'll see a lot of ads spawning on top of the stairs. You want to go up to the top of the stairs, kill these ads, and then you're a bit free, take pictures if you want. Don't know why you would, but feel free. And then you can continue going over. These stairs are going to drop for you. You can then enter into here. Then you're going to enter into the next arena, and we'll explain over here for you as well. And there you go. Now you've made it to the final encounter. So what's going to happen here is you're going to have these 3 corners in the room. Each one is going to have a mimic of a boss that spawns. Now, in order to complete this encounter, we're going to be getting rid of these mimics. Now, how do we do this, you might ask? Well, there's going to be the same mechanic throughout, where we're going to spawn motes, and there's going to be a little circle thing in front of these. We're going to deposit there to the corresponding color. We're going to do this, and it's going to completely get rid of that mimic. However, this time there's going to be an ogre that spawns in front. We're going to kill the ogre. We're going to repeat this 3 times for all 3 corners in the room. Once we've done this, we can then go to this little triangle in the middle, go through here, and then we're into boss. Now you've made it to boss, there's a few different things that you need to keep in mind. One of these is dark entropy. If dark entropy at the top of your screen here hits 10, you insta die. Now how do you avoid this? So, in order to avoid this, you want to stay within 2 platforms of the boss, ideally 1. This will keep your dark entropy from going up and will actually keep it going down. Once again, if it hits 10, you die, so make sure that this always remains at 10. Apart from that, it's just general DPS. You're going to have hobgoblins spawning throughout, he's going to keep teleporting back. As well as that, he's going to shoot these little AoE effects towards you. If one of these AoE effects hits you, it'll either do a lot of damage or it'll teleport you back. So you want to avoid these. Don't go on the same platform as him, because he'll do a lot of knockback damage. Apart from that, that's it. All the explanation that there is for this dungeon, this encounter, and for boss. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. However, just a quick tip if you're still in the video at this point, do keep in mind that on the top right of your screen, you'll see a little suggestion there for the 2 previous videos that have been made. Both of these builds work well for Warlock and Hunter throughout this dungeon and can make this dungeon a lot easier, including in DPS for Warlock. I do recommend using these builds to ensure that this dungeon becomes a lot easier rather than having to actually think about the dungeon.